Oh my God, your poor dad.
Welcome back to Your Poor Dad. You can't choose your sisters, but you can choose your podcast. So thank you for joining us and being the fourth Brant sister.
In the spirit of transparency, I already know Paige is going to say this.
I wasn't going to say anything. Who sniffed in the intro?
I made us. I sniffed in the intro?
Yeah. That's exactly what she did.
I made us restart because I just wasn't like mentally prepared. And then we started talking and I was like, oh, fuck, we're recording a podcast.
It was just funny because I think maybe we 1.5 minutes in and then just kind of arms up. Can we start over?
I didn't know you had a plan and now I'm like on the plan.
Oh, okay.
We should probably talk about our plans before we start recording, but it's kind of fun to just like raw dog it.
I feel like me having a plan is good enough and I wanted to see
somebody's got to like guide the ship and it doesn't, and we don't need to know who's guiding it. It's a blind guide. But okay, what did you say? Tell them what you said.
What I said was this episode, first of all, Merry Christmas. I hope you guys had a wonderful Christmas. We'll get into that in just a little bit.
Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah. Yes, we celebrate Christmas. Not everyone does. Anyways, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. And I thought today we could talk about our New Year's resolutions for 2024.
Because it is January 1st.
It will be.
It's actually December 28th, but today in your world is January 1st. So, then I was singing New Year's Day by Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
But I wasn't really singing it.
And
because I don't know the words.
Well, yeah, you
or
just
the
kind
tune.
of said, "Oh,
I said New Year's Day."
Yeah, New Year's Day. I was like, "Oh, she's talking about Taylor Swift." I got you.
I'm glad that we recapped everything we cut from the first recording.
But now I'm like in it.
You said something
about Taylor Swift.
Okay, so 4 secret songs.
New Year's Day was one of the songs we got at Eras, and I was so annoyed. I could not let myself enjoy New Year's Day because I was so annoyed we didn't get Cornelia Street.
Well,
but I should have just been grateful because New Year's Day is actually a really good song. And now I like it.
Well, I was going to say you felt
just
the
like
same
Clean.
way about Clean.
I know. That's what.
And now you love Clean.
No, now Clean's like my favorite song.
That's why you are the most annoying person.
You don't know how annoyed I am with my biggest regret. Well, we can get into this, but my biggest regret of 2023 is that I was not appreciative of Clean when we got it. When she started singing Clean, I was like, what the fuck is this?
I know you were.
But how annoying am I? Because I'm like the first person on social media to be like, yeah, we got Death by a Thousand Cuts and Clean.
Because I was telling you that in Swiftie world, like that was huge. That was really huge. And you're like, hey, Swifties, guess what? Arlington Night 2, guess what songs we got? Yep,
meanwhile,
you guessed it.
I've never heard that song.
I know.
But I'm like, you guys, you'll never get Death by a Thousand Cuts and Clean.
You were like, this is the elite pairing.
I was mansplaining the Swifties. I'm so annoying.
But you did do the exact same thing with New Year's Day. And
I don't ride for New Year's Day like I ride for Clean.
I know, but it is such a good song.
Well, now I feel a connection to it. I needed that little, sometimes when you go to a concert of somebody you don't really know, and then that concert makes you enjoy the song more.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Yeah. You're still annoying sometimes.
Up bottles with you on New Year's Day. And now I know the words because I had to listen to it.
Well, and because I just sang them to you.
Right.
So that's really it. Anyways, I wanted to, before we talk about our New Year's resolutions, let's talk about what our Christmas was like.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Do you want me to start? Because you looked at me.
You know what? I guess, Bailey, do you have something to say?
No.
You opened your mouth like you did.
Well, no.
That's Bailey's move is she's always opening her mouth she's
I was
going
at Christmas.
But we always talk so much that I think it's just a reaction oh, I could say something but I can't.
Whenever I listen back to the podcast, I will say what I was actually thinking at the time, and it's if only anyone else could hear that.
Well, I wanted to, you guys can see my little shirt. Shout out to Sandy.
Maybe describe it.
Should I show
this is a podcast.
Wait, should I show them the back?
Sure.
Okay, tell me. You'll have to look in the camera and tell me if you can see it.
Okay.
Hold on.
So what we're looking at here is Paige is showing the back of her new shirt. It is a Bears jersey, number 85. I'm sure that's a very influential, important player.
Komet.
I think that's the year that the Bears went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, the 85 Bears, but I think
Yeah.
it's currently Komet.
Oh.
They chose the numbers from their favorite players.
Yeah,
And
so
our favorite players.
our poor parents are taking us to Chicago next year to see the Bears. Go Bears. And
Go Bears.
they got us all these jerseys that say your poor dad on the back. Mr. Roberts got one that said Mr. Roberts.
That's cute.
It's
We need
really
to get Sticks
funny.
ones that says Sticks.
I wonder
And then
if
we
they
can
did.
get. Oh wait,
We have a
What?
bonus present over there.
I don't have a boyfriend. we
Well-
can get George Glass.
No, wait. What
One that
about
says George Glass.
I mean, depending on who you're dating this year, we can. We'll find you one.
We could get ones
Or
for
you
the
don't need
dog.
one.
Or we'll get one of those special invisible jerseys.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, like the dogs at Disneyland, that there used to be a thing where it was like a wire leash with like a fake little like muzzle and it looked like you were walking a ghost dog.
Yeah.
We could have like a ghost boyfriend leash.
That would
That's
be
a really good idea.
That would be funny.
That would be
I could just
funny.
have like an arm over my
Just, like,
That's
a
something
stiff
that you
shirt.
and dad would do, like to commit to the bit. Like
Yeah.
we're talking about it and we're thinking it's funny, and then dad would like literally
He's gonna execute.
rig like some sort of thing, and we would be carrying.
He's gonna
around.
rig some kind of dummy.
Yeah.
And that I'm
And
gonna
then
have
he's
to like,
gonna take on the plane.
yeah,
He's gonna check a bag.
He's gonna check a bag just for this dummy.
Yeah. But yeah, we're really excited. And okay, so I follow this girl on TikTok. Her name is Lauren, and she's like a Bears correspondent, and she's always making Bears content. She's like super cute. And I feel like we should like meet up with her.
Okay.
And like maybe she could like, hook it up, get us on the field or some shit.
Lauren, hey girl. We would love that. And you wanna know who else would love it? Our poor dad.
Yeah. But
And honestly, our poor mom, because let me just tell you, we joke about mom being a pick me girl when she watches football. It's all real. We were hungover.
real.
We were hungover, and during Sunday when the game was happening,
was that Christmas Eve?
yes, Sunday was Christmas Eve, and I'm kind of just like laying on the couch, like curled up in a ball, wishing I didn't drink so much the night before. And then mom was also. She was dead, and then she was resurrected when the game started, and she just started saying football things. Dad wasn't even in the room, and I'm like, "Girl,
Like, who are you trying to impress?
Yeah, I'm like, "Calm down. Wait till he gets back in the room."
Well, that was also when Mom and I were like surprise drunk and you had no idea.
Oh my gosh, that is so.
Because we were all so hungover from the party we had the night before. And then Dad was like, okay, let's have some mimosas. And Mom and I just kept drinking mimosas. And Paige was like, I don't like mimosas. Maybe I'll have a beer later, but I'm just going
You
to
don't
keep.
like mimosas?
No, I really wanted a Bloody Mary, but we didn't have any Bloody mix.
You know, Bailey, that's like so you. That's so your move to like do a sneaky like.
Well, Mom
nobody
was like
knows.
actually drunk. I was fine, but I was.
Well, everyone's
not
gonna
leave
know when
Mom.
Mom's drunk.
Exactly. And Paige was like, turned, like she was confused
Yeah,
why
Mom
Mom
said-
was saying what she was saying.
Well, she said something that was just a little off, and I looked at her, and then I really looked at her. I was like, "Are you drunk?" She's like, "Yeah, I've been drinking prosecco all morning." And
I was like, I'm drunk right now. I'm making dinner.
This is Mom and Dad's move. So Dad puts Mom's prosecco in like this, one of those like Hydro Flask like wine cups or whatever. Sometimes he actually puts it in like a big like Stanley size, and then
well, because
like
that means that he won't have to get up to refill it.
right, and it stays cold in the
Yeah.
cup. But then you can't see how much you're drinking, and then like all of a
just know
sudden
when it's
you're
empty.
just drunk.
Yeah.
Is that camera? Is that not?
It looks. The
It looks like
camera
it's
looks
like-
tilted, but the image doesn't look tilted.
It's an optical illusion.
Interesting. But yeah.
I noticed that last time. It was fine last time, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because that is weird.
Maybe it's just the cover. Okay, so we went back to Kaler, which is right next to Fort Worth for Christmas, where our parents live. If you guys are just now tuning in, hi, welcome. We're poor. We're your poor dad. We're three
We're
sisters.
poor.
We're poor, and we're your poor dad. And so Mr. Roberts, it was like our first Christmas together.
And so we had to welcome him in with a big old Brandt family style party
Right.
where everyone was required to dress up.
Yeah, so we did our little Christmas vacation theme party. I was going to say annual, but we didn't do it last year, right?
No, but I think we're gonna have an annual party. But guess the Erdls chose the movie for next year.
Oh, what is it going to be?
Drum
Da.
roll, please.
The Grinch.
Okay, that's cute.
Apparently, that's their favorite movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I
and-
love how we're like, it's Christmas Vacation's everyone's favorite movie,
Well,
so you
so
all
that's
have
what
to
Dad
dress
said.
up.
That's
Dad
what-
said Christmas Vacation is way more popular than The Grinch.
And I told him, I was like, Dad, The Grinch is actually, I think, like the number one Christmas movie, and it's the number one like grossing Christmas
Is
movie.
it?
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense because it's also like a classic. It's been remade like multiple times.
And
Yeah.
did you know that Jim Carrey on day one, he was like,
Oh, you saw that TikTok
I
too?
quit. Yeah, he's like, I quit. I'm out of here.
I love when like
We're on the same
We're
TikTok.
like, well, also it's like we're spewing facts to each other. Like you and I will be on the phone and we'll be like, actually, I heard, and we spew a fact, and then it's like, oh, you saw that same TikTok.
Okay, so we saw the same thing. Yeah.
Okay,
Anyways, I
but
just thought
she
that was
got, to
crazy.
Well, you
repeat
could
it
tell
to, she got to repeat it to us, and we were fascinated.
Yeah, so tell the sisters
Anyways,
because it was fascinating.
it took 8 hours to put on the makeup in the little Grinch suit, the big Grinch suit. And so after day one, he was like, I'm out. I don't want to do this. Ron Howard said, please, we need you. And so they hired in this like CIA person that helps train people to deal with torture. And so he would just like basically like hit his leg and smoke cigarettes like all through filming. And you know what? It worked because he was a great Grinch.
He was a great Grinch.
Well, do you guys know that the lion suit from The Wizard of Oz was actual lion hide, and it was 90 pounds? So that guy had to carry around 90 pounds of dead lion carcass.
that movie is so dark.
Yeah.
Ew.
The making
Yeah.
of that movie is just like the darkest times. Like Judy Garland, we all know about the little goblin hanging from the tree.
It's not true. It's a bird.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that brings some levity to the situation.
And
more you
also, little goblin sounds horrible because it's either a munchkin or an actual person.
But weren't they like they turned into mean little goblins and they
I
flew?
thought they were monkeys.
Oh yeah, the monkeys.
Yeah, but that one's not true.
Bailey's
But everything
always-
else is so dark.
Bailey, if we ever get canceled, it's gonna be for me. But then the
Yeah.
only redeeming quality is going to be Bailey. So just know, like, that's why it's so good that you're listening to this podcast because, like, we're almost uncancelable. Knock on wood.
Well,
because
I wouldn't
it's
go
like
that far.
we have like a good balance. Okay, speaking of the Grinch, though, we were watching the new animated Grinch at Mr. Roberts' family's house because me and Mr. Roberts went from Keller to Southern California where his family lives. And so we were watching like the new Grinch and it's so cute. It's like one of those like AI looking movies.
Yeah.
You know, one of those new fashion movies. And like the Grinch would jump and his belly would bounce and everything was just really bouncy.
I love bouncy.
Yeah. But so we cannot stay on a topic.
You cannot stay on the topic.
Well, I took a little bit of the mushrooms this morning and it's just kicked in.
Ooh, I just got drunk.
But yeah, so the Christmas vacation party was super fun. We all dressed up. Me and Mr. Roberts were Todd and Margot.
That was really good.
Yeah, we like
I brought your hair back.
you did.
Yeah.
Thanks. What were you guys?
I was Uncle Lewis.
And I was Aunt Bethany.
And I wonder how many people actually know who. I think people
They have to.
Well, I posted about the party and it went viral. It got like
Thanks, babe.
almost 2 million views on
Okay.
TikTok.
I saw that and people really liked it.
I know they did. Honestly, it had like all positive comments, which is so rare for TikTok.
Because it was such a wholesome party.
It really was.
It really was. It was
It's the most
really
wholesome
fun.
content you've had in a while.
I know, and I don't really do wholesome content.
Yeah, you're so problematic.
I'm so X-rated.
Oh.
You're disgusting.
I know.
Hi, Mr. Robert Sr.
It's so funny, like being with Mr. Roberts' family because they will say things that like they hear on the podcast. They're like, "Oh, tell us about like this," and I'm like, "Oh my god, I forget you guys like
You're
know
like,
me. Consume content I put out on the internet, and
You're
it
like,
makes
"I
me
don't want
scared."
to.
But they're like, they're great because like they they like embrace who I am. They're not like, oh my gosh, like that Jade, she's crazy. I mean, maybe they say that, but they, you know,
Behind your back.
yeah. And that's fine. Like if you feel like that, I totally respect it. But like behind my back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the way you're supposed to do it.
I
It's
know.
kind of nice because then they can see you as a whole person and not
Yeah.
just like what you present to them.
Right.
I agree.
Totally.
Whoa.
So wait, how was your guys like actual Christmas? I haven't really talked to you.
Our actual Christmas.
Pretty low key since we celebrated when you and Mr. Roberts were there. Our actual Christmas, it was really nice. We went to the Erdels and oh my gosh, I need a shout out. Hold on. Should I go get the glasses or should I wait? We'll
We
do
can
a
just put
picture.
You can just put a picture.
Okay, because shout out to the Erdel kids. Well, I also wanted to like shout out the little company that what's it called?
Etched.
They etched. We have 6 wine glasses, and 3 of them say YPD, and 3 of them say Your Poor Dad, and it's so cute.
so cute.
And I think that's probably, aside from the trip and the Bears game,
Yeah.
like my favorite. And they got us these. You guys all remember the Europe trip? They got us these blankets that have like the cutest pictures of like us 3. So, anyways, Christmas Day, we went to their house for breakfast, and then we obviously had to watch I'll Be Home for Christmas because Mom and I hadn't seen it so far this Christmas season,
And that's with Jonathan Taylor Thomas, Jessica Biel.
yeah, and it's a classic. And then we just went home and kind of started packing, getting things ready for the next day.
Wow.
I know.
It was the like laziest I've been at Mom and Dad's house in a while because we had the party on the 23rd, so that was a lot. But then the 24th and the 25th, we didn't have anything to do.
So you just like chilled?
yeah, like napped.
Napped. I love
So
napping.
nice.
Yeah. So me and Mr. Roberts, we went on a plane bright and early to Southern California, which is very interesting that we grew up 20 minutes away from Mr. Roberts.
That's crazy.
I didn't even realize how close it was, but we were driving from his town to his uncle lives like on the other side of LA, and we drove through Glendora. It was like literally 15 minutes.
You know, some people probably think that's, you know, cool or like serendipitous or whatever. It's kind of creepy, right?
It is, because we literally played his high school. Glendora played his high school.
It's so weird that you guys didn't meet in California.
Well, and then he lived in Huntington Beach for a while, and I lived in Costa Mesa, and those are literally 2 neighboring towns. I was always in Huntington. We literally went to the same places, like all the restaurants we were talking. And he was an Uber driver for a little bit. So like I literally probably was in his Uber. He was like, I was always Ubering in like Newport.
That would be so weird if he was like, man, there was this one
Annoying bitch.
Yeah,
She
like-
wouldn't shut the fuck up.
apartment D.
But yeah, that
That's
was
so crazy.
I know, it's so. And then we like both moved to Austin the same year. So it's like, what did they say? Invisible
About what?
string.
Oh,
I couldn't
What do
think.
they say?
I knew the words, but I just didn't know the tune, and I was like,
invisible string.
I was hoping you would like start singing.
Well,
it.
I didn't. You said, what do they say? And
What do they say?
they,
How do they sing it?
like, the invisible string was like tying you to him.
Isn't it so lovely? There's an invisible. Well, how's the fucking song go? That's what I'm asking.
I like the way you do it better.
I did too.
Isn't it so pretty to think? And all along there was an invisible string
There you go.
tying you to me. See, I can do it,
You
but
nailed
I
it.
get nervous.
Then don't do
Nervous.
it.
Okay.
If you get so nervous.
But anyways, that was my Christmas.
I love that.
I'm excited for my Christmas with Sticks because tomorrow we're going to dinner, and then the next day dinner. Then we're going to a spa the next day.
Ooh, fancy.
Yeah. And then we're staying at an Airbnb.
Nice little staycation.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
In town.
Near. So there was a few different spas we looked at, but really we just wanted like a massage and like a hot tub. We wanted access to all this stuff, but not
Yeah.
like someone to bring us. And then you eat this cucumber and
Yeah.
feel, and then listen to me ding this bell, because that's what a lot of them were like. And I was like, I don't want someone telling me what to do. All
I don't
the
need
time.
someone to guide me. Just give me like the hot tub, the cold plunge, and like the area, and I'll just
In a sauna.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you go to the Omni and get the spa thing, you get like the spa, like access to the area for the day.
Interesting.
So that's good. hopefully it'll turn
Where are
out
you guys
great.
going to dinner?
We're going to Juniper.
Juniper. I've heard good things.
So would I.
I'm excited. I've looked at the menu about 50 times. I'm really excited.
Side note, we had, this is actually really funny. So Mr. Roberts' family has Chinese food every Christmas Eve, and they go to the same place, and they call it mop hands. Because one time they were picking up the food and they saw someone mopping, and then they put the mop down and they went to go roll up some food to like be for delivery. And instead of washing his hands, he just went from mop to food. But they love the place so much, and they're like, I mean,
That made me pee a little bit.
Mop hands.
so they're like, we're picking up mop hands for, but it's like so funny because it's so something our family would do. And
Well, I guess we have this information about our favorite restaurant. We
Yeah.
just have to live with it.
it's like, it's not going to deter you, but it's just information. And now it's the name.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
That's really fun.
But it made me really miss, well, I was thinking of it because I was thinking about restaurants. It made me really miss like really good Chinese food. There's like not good Chinese food in Austin. That's like authentic, like,
Yeah.
you know, little
There's always
family owned.
like any kind of like Asian Chinese place around here. It's like fusion. Like
It's like some sort of
it's like
trendy
a
spin.
yeah, like a
It's
twist
yeah.
on.
Yeah, like Elizabeth Street Cafe, so good, but it's like French Vietnamese. It's like, okay, can we just like fucking have some pho? Like that's all I want.
Yeah.
I don't need your fancy little take on
I
it.
also want like better hole in the wall restaurants that
Yeah.
are just like mid. You could go there just a Wednesday night. You're just hungry and don't want to cook. I feel like
Yeah.
you either have to go to the nicest restaurant or like Chili's. There's
Yeah.
no like middle ground.
Well, yeah, and Bailey and I made a mistake one time of going to a hole in the wall Mexican
God.
restaurant, and
I think that was for my birthday too. I was like, I really want to try this place because it looks.
Where was it?
It's on South
South
Lamar.
Lamar.
And there's two next to each other, and I still don't know which one we
Wait.
actually went to.
I think I know
And I
where
was like,
it
this
is.
must be good because it's still here. It not nothing to look at, you know. So the food must
Yeah.
be great. Like, let's go try it.
Is it by Golden Goose, the bar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it,
Okay, that's the thing, because I would want to go to somewhere like
Yeah.
that too, but you cannot trust the hole in the wall Mexican places in Austin.
the meat.
which you would think.
You would think that you could, but Austin has terrible Mexican food. I'm just gonna say it.
Well, it was scary because the meat.
Yeah, it was rancid.
It
was, like,
literally
gray.
It was gray, and it like had the stench, and we were like,
Paige was like, this must be some new kind of way of cooking it. She took a bite.
I took a bite of it, and I was like, don't eat this.
That was. Oh my god.
So I'm on a mission for 2024, one of my food missions, which if you'd like to partake in this with me because you're a foodie too, we should do a foodie like journey together.
Well,
Okay.
can I
Well,
join?
you
and
can
eat?
join. You can like eat off the kids menu, but Bailey
No,
and I can.
I eat. Like, I'm getting all flustered. I eat.
I know you do eat. You have come a long way.
I just
You do eat.
I do
good.
eat.
You do eat.
I just in my adulthood, like I haven't not liked a restaurant in a really long time since Suerte.
I don't think Suerte is that good.
But I was really excited for it, and I was like, my taste buds were not having it.
No, the meal I've had Suerte like 3 times now, and it's so overrated.
Sorry, Suerte.
Sorry, Suerte, but I mean, you should go there, you guys. They have great drinks. The drinks were amazing,
And I heard their brunch is pretty good.
they have good tacos. Well, we went to brunch. That's what we didn't like.
Oh, then maybe it was dinner.
Yeah,
Because you're right, I did not like the brunch.
I think I got something that was
You had the tongue.
good. Yeah.
And that
It was
was
like a
that was the
hash.
best thing.
Yeah.
the
Yeah, that
tongue
was good.
hash. But okay, so my foodie goal is I'm trying to find the best chips and salsa in Austin, because every single restaurant you go to here, first of all, so many of them don't bring out chips and salsa with the meal, which is like standard, at least where we grew up. Like in DFW and in Southern California, you just get chips and salsa.
Yeah.
I want to go somewhere that has chips and salsa.
I believe me, I get
And
it.
and I just feel like all the places I go, like even Matt's El Rancho, there's nothing to call home
Well,
about.
here's the thing. I have to say, HEB chips, they're really similar to like the Chili's chips. They're like really, thin, really crispy,
Really
HEB
salty.
Yeah, really salty. HEB
My mouth is watering.
might have the best chips. Mom, whenever she was here a couple weeks ago, she was like, I need to stop at HEB before I go back home because they don't have an HEB in color. And she's like, these chips are to die. And they really are.
I believe it. HEB can do no wrong in my eyes.
Yeah.
Seriously. Shout out HEB.
I tried
Yeah.
another hole in the wall
Had a wrap.
restaurant, and the salsa was really good. It was really spicy and just felt just, pico de gallo, very like fresh. But then everything else was
Terrible.
bad. The chips were thick. My
I hate a
enchilada was
thick chip.
microwaved. It was sad. It's like, okay.
My perfect, like, I think my standard, like my baseline of what I judge chips and salsa on is Mi Casina. Because I feel like Mi Casina is just like good chips. Like they're very corn. It tastes like good, like tortilla chips, fresh, homemade. And then the salsa is just like very good. It's just garlic, salty, spicy deliciousness.
Yeah, I think I'm not a huge salsa person, but I hate when there's too much pepper. in
Pepper?
this- it just ruins it for me.
Okay.
I want that fresh.
You want the fresh.
Anyways,
Anyways, that's probably very insular, but that's just a little bit about us.
Right
Okay,
in with your
so-
chips and salsa recommendations, and we'll tell you if they pass or not.
Yeah.
so let's talk about, since this is New Year's Day. Did you guys have any
Year's
plans
Day.
last night for New Year's Eve?
No.
Do I have plans for New Year's Eve? I'm going to New York.
The City of Lights.
Concrete jungle where dreams are made of. They're nodding their heads. This is a audio podcast.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so
I forget.
we're going to New York. I really have no idea what to expect because Mr. Roberts' friends are kind of making reservations for us, which is like usually Mr. Roberts has like reservations like months in advance because he's just a Virgo. And so I have no idea what to expect.
Well, I have to say that my New Year's in New York, I think it was to ring in 2019, I think.
We're all like,
Yeah, that was a bad year, but that New Year's, that whole trip was probably one of my favorite trips I've ever taken.
really?
Yes. And for New Year's Eve, me and Tyson, we got these tickets to the AMC theater. They had the whole thing just for this New Year's Eve party. And there were three different levels. They had movies running all night, but you didn't have to watch a movie. It was like parties on every single level. We got really lucky because we had only paid for the first level. We didn't know what to expect. It was kind of, I'd been to New York before, but I haven't really been to New York. I didn't know like exactly where, because the whole point of being at the AMC theater was that you could see the ball drop from where we were. Well, plot twist. We had gotten tickets to the first level, but the lady who was handing out these wristbands, because that's each wristband was a different color depending on what tier you bought.
Yeah.
She gave us the wrong color. And so I'm looking at all these plebes on the first
Plebes.
floor, and I'm like, why do we have a different bracelet than everyone else? And then I keep looking at the people going up these stairs, and I'm like, we should just go up there. And guess what? She gave us the wrong one. She gave us the one for the tier that had this little balcony. So the people below didn't have a balcony where they could actually look at the ball drop. So we got really lucky. We were able to see the ball drop. And it was really freaking cool. But then it was raining. And honestly, so it was the most magical night until it struck midnight. And then we had to, go home. And it was disgusting. The streets were it's like smelled because of the
Yeah.
rain. Like the rain was like washing the trash like in the streets. Anyways, but besides that, it was like perfect.
That sounds perfect.
It was great.
What are
I
you
think
gonna
you're
do
going to
this
have... No, this year is a little different. I'm doing nothing.
I'm doing nothing.
At least as of right now. So we'll
I'm sure
see.
your plans will find you.
I'm sure I'll
And
figure
I'll-
something out.
I feel like one of the best New Year's Eves that I had was when I watched the Reputation tour on Netflix. And I feel like it almost like cast a spell for my 2022 because it was 2021 going into 2022. And I just remember like summoning the energy of the Reputation album. And then I had a great 2022.
There's a lot of energy in that album.
Yeah. And it's like, so if you are like home alone and you need something to watch, I like highly recommend just watching Reputation tour.
Especially since it's leaving Netflix soon.
It is?
It keeps saying leaving soon.
Oh my God. It keeps saying, I mean, I don't keep up with the listing.
It's one.
It's on pages. Continue watching all the time.
Well, 'cause I like falling asleep to it. And the first two songs, it just really freaking hypes me up. So sometimes I'll just watch for the first two
It's
songs.
like not a good thing to watch right before bed then.
Well, because then after I get those two songs,
Then you just,
then I
you
can
go
just,
mimis.
Then I go mimis.
Go mimis.
Okay, so what about what?
Well, we made Dad watch the Eras thing.
We made Dad watch.
What did Dad think?
He thought she was very impressive.
Yeah.
What was his favorite part?
He didn't say.
He didn't say.
We'll have to.
We'll have to ask him.
Yeah.
He watched the whole thing.
Well, he was in
was
and
up.
out.
I was gonna say he was in and out, like
And
going outside.
It was stressing me out and it was pissing me off. And he was asking me a question during, I think it was right after she sang Fearless, which Fearless is either my favorite or second favorite era. And he's like, hey, Paige, I have a question about my iPhone. And he's asking.
At a time like this?
It was really weird.
At a time like this, when I've already seen this concert 4 times.
True. It was really weird. He has multiple phones, okay? His old phone, it was like, he's like, how do I make this a group? And I'm like, I don't know, this phone's so old.
It has a button.
But it was weird because someone had created a group, but every time he responded to somebody, it was happening in an individual text. And I was like, maybe you have some kind of setting turned off. And he's like, but look, how come I have a group with you guys? And I was like, I don't freaking know. And he's like, okay, we'll look into this another time. So
God.
we never circled back. Anyways, I was really happy that he watched the end. He was a little more appreciative of Evermore and Folklore than I thought he would be.
Really?
Because he did say, he was like, I don't know this song, but he was appreciating.
So did he have to tell you every single song he didn't know as it was playing?
Yes.
Okay, that's so dad.
And not just one time, like the song would start, he'd be like, I don't know it. And then the chorus would hit, he'd be like, yeah, I've never heard this song. And it's like, no, I know, just appreciate it.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
It kills me.
Speaking of dad's phone being weird, our friend Angie was trying to text. Was Jade in the message?
Jade, it's the
It was
funniest thing.
Very much the same thing as "Stay out of it, Paige," where our family was fighting in a big group text that they thought they had my number in, but it was someone else's.
Wait, have we
phone
ever
number.
told that story?
I don't know. We should tell it in its entirety one day.
Yeah, not today, but
Well, I'll give you the cliff notes. So we were in a big group text with our extended
Cousins, aunts.
family, and we were all fighting. And then one of our aunts had included what she thought was Bailey's number, but it was Bailey's old number.
But I have told everyone before that day so many times, stop texting Bailey's old number. This is her new number. And I kept giving them Bailey's new number.
So someone in our family was saying some wild shit, like out of pocket, just like she was like coming for everyone's neck. Bailey's old number texts back. She's like, or I don't know, they're like, I know all your secrets. So it just looks like Bailey's like coming.
Plotting.
Can you imagine just having like somebody's old phone number and you're like, oh my God, you guys look at this fucking text.
It would be amazing.
chain.
I would love to find that person.
I know.
Well, I know we should call that person.
I know we should find
we
that
should
text.
have that person on the podcast.
I know.
Well, so when we went to the Ertles house looking at their presents under the tree, I mean, they just had these huge boxes and there's so many. I'm like, whoa. And they're like all of the kids have the same amount of presents. There's just one kid had bigger items like kitchen kind of things, right? So she was explaining to me and Bailey, she's like, it's really not that crazy. It's just these big boxes.
Yeah.
So she goes to text me, Bailey, and Mom after their kids open their gifts to say, like, this was Jet's Christmas, which is a bunch of boxes.
Right.
And then this was Alexis's Christmas, smaller things. But she had included this random phone number that I didn't know. And then this person says, I don't think I know anyone in this group. So I am crying, laughing on the couch with Mom. And we're just giddy. I mean, we're just cracking up because we're like, this is the same situation as I Know All Your Secrets. And then Angie just ha-has that text. And then she replies to that text and says, sorry.
That is so. I don't think I know anyone in this group.
And it's especially seeing the text was just like an image of one group of presents and an image of like this person's probably like, what is going on? It's like she ha-has the text. Sorry.
That is so funny.
I know. Okay, so anyways, what about New Year's resolutions, guys?
Okay.
Well, now on top of finding the best chips and salsa in Austin,
Right.
I have boring ones like I want to be very schedulied this year to where it's like every Tuesday. Like I have a day for everything, you know, and everything has its day.
You're so weird.
You're so weird. You literally live in another time. You are not of this era.
I'm not.
I feel like if you had it your way, you would still have an iPhone with a button on it.
Probably.
Why have an iPhone?
Exactly.
She'd rather have a landline. She doesn't have to remember to bring it anywhere.
If I had a landline, I would still have to carry around an iPad or something so I could still do all my word games.
True.
I take those very
No,
seriously.
you literally are a grandma.
Yeah.
Like, I'm surprised you don't carry around a checkbook. Can I write you a check?
I have a checkbook.
I have a checkbook.
I don't have a checkbook anymore.
I don't have anything fun though. As
Okay, so you wanna
as
be-
a resolution?
No, I think I think that's a good one for you, being a little more like organized on schedule, like
Yeah, boring.
boring. But I think that's a really good goal because since this new career, like you've just been there's so much that you have to do during the week that you're just kind of like chaos.
Yeah,
So I think it'll be good to get on a schedule.
that's why I want it.
Yeah, I really would like to get back into my fitness. I was doing a really good job with it. I was looking back, I think my best like fitness year was probably 2022, and then kind of like halfway through 2023, but then I kind of just kind of stopped. So I want to, and it doesn't have to be like hardcore, but I just 4 times a week or something, I want to be moving my body, doing things.
That's a great goal.
I got a membership to a gym.
You did?
Yeah, there's
Where?
this new gym called Crunch.
Crunch.
And they just opened one kind of over by Costco.
Nice.
So
So you could go to Costco after you go to the gym. It's kind of like a treat.
exactly. And there's a Whole Foods over there. But it's perfect because the thing I've been really missing is a sauna. So they have a sauna. So I'm really excited.
Perfect.
So fitness, I really want to get back into my journaling. I've trailed off on that. So just doing that every day as well. And then I kind of want to pick up a new hobby, but I don't, either pick up a new hobby or pick up
An old hobby?
like my guitar or something. Start playing that again.
You should start writing songs again. And what
Okay.
if can you imagine the story? Like she used to write songs and then she gave that life up. And then one day she said, I'm going to pick up my hobby again.
What a unique story that would be.
I know. It'd be so unique.
What about
Unique
you?
New York. Well,
And I want, sorry, before you go, let me just say, I want to do something to drive this podcast.
yeah. Yeah, my number one goal for next year, I think I do like goals versus resolutions, I think. I don't know if it's the same thing. I don't even know what a fucking resolution is.
Call it what you want.
Call it what you want. Yeah, call it what you want to. I'm so musical this episode.
Seriously.
Number one goal is that this could be all of our full-time job. That would be great. Cross your little fingers. And then I also want to dial in my health a little better because the older I get, the harder it is to keep those pesky 10 pounds off my body.
Honey, I freaking know it.
It's so hard. I have like 10 pounds extra on my body, and whenever I say that, people are like, well, what about your boobs? I'm like, they weigh 2 pounds, literally.
And your boobs have always been big.
Yeah.
So it's
The
like
implant,
now they sit where they're supposed to, but
Right.
you've always had big boobs.
yeah, it's not the boobs. Like the implants literally weigh 2 pounds.
Yeah, and your body. It's like
Yeah.
they're not new.
And that's the thing. It's so annoying when you're telling people like, I have 10 pounds I need to lose. And they're like, no, you don't. It's like, no, I know my body. And it's not like for vanity reasons. It's like first of all, I can tell something's going on. And second of all, I'm uncomfortable. Like 10 pounds on a little meatball is a fucking lot of weight.
Preach.
And it's like, it's not bad to like want to be better for yourself. I think it is bad when it goes in the other direction when you start like focusing on it a
And it
little too much,
like kind of
And it
obsessing.
yeah. And it's like, it is upsetting though, because, you know, like our weight, it's hard to control it. And it's something that you can't control sometimes. Like even with all the diet and exercise, it feels like I can't.
Well, because we were blessed to be women and our hormones are
Fucked up.
crazy.
Yeah. So I'm going to, I have like a whole like list. So I'm optimizing my sleep, my morning routine, my night routine, my fitness, and my eating. And each month I want to like kind of check in and say, okay, like, because first of all, I don't think I'm sleeping enough. So I'm going to like get that all dialed in. I'm doing like the mouth taping and all of that. I'm going to get like one of those Hatch alarm clocks to gently wake me up in the morning. And I also like need to go to bed earlier, but it's hard when you're a creative person because like sometimes I'll get on an idea and I'm like, oh fuck, like I should just write it. And it's usually at night.
Yeah.
Instead of like during the day. Like the middle of the day is like dead in here. Nothing's
we know.
Nothing's going on.
Well, and it's so weird. Like this morning, I naturally woke up at like 4:45, and I swear I was like wide awake, but I forced myself to go back to sleep because it was 4:45. Like,
Yeah.
what was I gonna do? And I'm not working this week, so I really wanted this week to just like I want to take naps. I want to sleep as much as I can. But then when I went back to sleep, when my alarm went off at 7, I felt like I was dead.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
what
like you
is
feel
that?
so tired.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then if you were to have stayed awake at 4:45, you would have started to feel dead around 7.
Yeah.
It's hard. So I'm trying to like optimize all of that. I would love to get these like 10 pounds off my body so I can just feel like myself again.
Mm-hmm.
And part of me is like really scared it has something to do with like inflammation from my surgery. So I'm trying to like deal with like figure out like inflammation, figure out like what vitamins my body's potentially missing. Mr. Roberts went and got his like blood tested, and like actually is a really cool doctor over here, and it's like they mix like Eastern and Western medicine, so it's like an actual doctor, but they're like, okay, like these are vitamins you can take, like they're not just trying to like feed you medicine.
Right.
So
When was the last time you did blood work? I feel like
Literally never.
You're so much like mom. Like you could have like weird thyroid things.
I know I probably do have weird, because when mom moved to Texas, that's when
Yeah.
her thyroid got messed up, and she was literally 35.
Well, and her thyroid literally just like up and down, up and down.
Yeah.
Like you really probably, honey, you need to go to the doctor.
I know. And I do such like intense, high intensity workouts that I don't think are very good for somebody who has like thyroid or hormone issues. Like it can actually do the opposite of help you, because like your cortisol spiking and your thyroid has a hard time like regulating your hormones because of that. I don't fucking know. I'm not a doctor, but I'm going to switch up my like workout routine, which is also really hard for me because I'm like obsessed with my routine, and like doing a lighter workout is a mental like head fuck, because I'm like, oh, you have to be like killing yourself in the gym to see results, but like that's not necessarily the case.
Well, remember what Taylor Swift said when she was like, "Oh, I thought that when I was getting off of one of her concerts that she was supposed to feel dead and supposed
Yeah.
to, you know," and it's like, "Oh, no, like if you give your body what you need and fuel it the right way,
Yeah.
then you can like go through a whole show and not feel dead."
Right.
So you just need to like you
I need
said,
to
like
find
figure
it.
out like
Yeah.
what your body needs.
It's just so annoying that it's like, it's not like, oh, you just do the right thing and then you get the right results. Like it's like a little
It's different
puzzle
for everybody.
Yeah, it's like what works for me is not going to work for you or anyone else. Like so yeah, those are my 2 main goals of the
Cool.
year.
Yeah. I hope that 2024 is better than 2023.
I think it will be. I'm also very excited for South by Southwest. So I think we're going to do like another event at Allie's studio like we did. So that will be really fun. I feel like I'm like more in the community like than I was
You've made
last
a lot
year.
of friends this year.
I know I had like 0 friends going into the year, and now I have like a bunch.
It's so cool.
I know. So that'll be fun. And yeah. So that's it.
I think that's great. I also think that the odd numbered years have been, for me, better years than even number years have been better than the
Really?
odd number years. Yeah.
Interesting.
2020 kind of weird, but you know, that was weird for everyone. So I think
Yeah, that was like an equal opportunity weird year.
Yeah, and then 2022 was great, and now I think 2024 will be like the best.
Yeah, mine used to be odd number years were better, and then 2021 happened, and I just
2019 was the start of my shit year.
Yeah.
2019 I was kind of like feeling myself. Like I was like
2019 was a bad year for us.
Yeah.
well, it also kind of was I was like
You were in
crawling out of
denial.
I was in my denial year.
Yeah.
Well,
You were
I
just
wasn't-
swimming in denial.
I wasn't
River.
in
You liked
denial.
it.
I think I was just in survival.
And you were
Yeah.
embracing it. You
Yeah.
liked.
And then 2020 came and I was like, I just spiraled.
Yeah.
And yeah. But, or not spiraled, just was
Everything's
faced with
fine.
some hard truths.
Yeah.
Yeah. But 2021, I think, was like a bad year for us too.
I have a lot of bad years.
The good, the bad.
Yeah. But
I think you guys should write in and tell us your biggest regret of 2023 and
Oh,
also
yeah.
your resolution or goal for 2024.
My biggest regret of 2023.
I know I'm trying to think like what was your peak and your pit of 2023?
The peak of my 2023 was Arlington eras.
that was really fun.
That was my peak.
That
Honestly,
was-
like anything Taylor Swift related was like a peak. It was
Yeah.
it was a great year for Swifties.
yeah.
Where do I think the worst part of my year was probably work related.
Yeah.
Oh,
Same.
yeah, that's true. I feel like my biggest, like the best part and my biggest regret was all wrapped up in our trip to Germany because I was
Oh,
it was
getting my phone
first time-
stolen.
I know. I wasn't gonna remind you, but here I am. Because it was my first time traveling ever, besides to Mexico, which I've only
Yeah.
been to like resorts in Mexico. That doesn't count. And it was so exciting and so cool. And I feel like I learned so much about how I can travel, and it's not
Yeah.
a huge daunting financial pit like it always seemed like it.
I know.
But then because of that, I was just going with whatever everyone else was doing, and I wasn't doing
Well,
anything
that-
on my own.
That really wasn't a trip for us to kind of go off on our own. Like there really wasn't like an opportunity to do it.
But now I learned that the next
Yeah.
time I'm going to build that time in.
Yeah, and I feel like we should like all try to travel more because it's really fun. And every time I like travel, I'm like, I should do this more.
Yeah.
But it really like I am not like a good leader into traveling. Like I need to be led to travel.
Yeah.
But I love traveling. But it's always like someone's telling me to travel.
Well, if anyone's wondering, my iPhone that did get stolen is still in Morocco, and they turned it on the 20th. That was the last time they turned it on, trying to get me to give them access to the device.
So like they can't access the device because you won't let them. So they did all of that in vain.
So eventually they'll I guess break it and sell it for the parts.
Oh.
But they can't
Sell it as an iPhone.
Yeah, which they want me to either remove the device from my iCloud, or they want to. What they do is they'll send me these text messages.
Yeah, the threatening text messages.
Yeah, and they want me to like click the link. If I click the link, then that would give them immediate access to my iCloud, where they can hopefully what they would only do is
Is just
remove
wipe
the
it.
device so then they can wipe it and resell it. Because right now it's on this erase mode. So if they were to try to connect it to the internet, everything completely shuts down the phone. So they don't want to do that. So they keep turning it on. And every time I start getting these weird messages, I look and that's the day that they'd turn it on and try to like.
Oh my
Access
God,
it.
that's
Yeah.
so stressful.
It's wild.
I think my peak this year, the thing that made me like the most happiest was like all like the female positivity on the internet. Like we started off the year with Rihanna at the Super Bowl, which was just like so cool. Then like the Barbie movie was like super big. I feel like it just kind of like brought the girlies together. And then of course, Taylor. It was just like such a fun year to be a girl. And I feel like for so long I've like kind of been like, I'm not a girly girl, you know, like I don't like Taylor because of this, you know. And it's like once you just like let go and let girly, like just embrace the fun things, even if people think they're basic, which like which like Paige has been doing her entire Swiftum. But it was just like so fun to just like embrace being a girl. Like, let's just like all be girls, you know?
Yeah.
So I liked that. I also really liked, I forgot, like, I got to travel a lot this year, which was like a peak. And I didn't feel, but the pit was, I like felt so much anxiety all year because I got laid off at the beginning of the year, and it was so hard trying to figure out what to do from there because my work situation was so toxic and emotionally abusive and like borderline like harassment, like, let's be honest. And it just like, it was so hard. I felt like I really had, and I'm still working through like shedding all of that from, I wish we could do an episode on like work trauma, because like it's really like, it's almost as abusive as like a relationship.
Yeah. And it's kind of almost, dare I say, more because it's like you depend on this job to pay your bills and all that kind of stuff. So it's, you deal with so much more than you hopefully would in a relationship. You know what I mean?
And when someone's like in a relationship, there's so much content, there's so much like support of people being like, yeah, like you don't need this person, fuck them, blah blah blah. But like with a job, you literally need it because it's your way to survive. And when somebody is telling you like how bad you are at your job, how stupid you are, constantly yelling at you, and like that's your money source, it's so much worse. I mean, it's like, it's like makes you feel like so vulnerable.
Well, and it's so scary because you're like, okay, like I need to find a different job or whatever, and it's so much harder to get a new job than to stay in the shitty job. You know what I mean? It's like,
at least you know your enemy there.
And
exactly.
It's like when you're in an emotionally abusive relationship with somebody, and it's like that attachment that you're like, okay, well, I can't leave because that person is constantly telling you how like this is the best you'll ever have. And then you start forming that like toxic, like,
and you think like, well, I've already invested so much time and energy into this person.
Yeah.
You know,
and it's the same way with the job, only you're more dependent.
Because like you're getting a paycheck.
Yeah.
And like, how do you survive without money?
And you almost justify it because it is your job. And you're like, well, jobs are supposed to kind of suck. Like, is this the suck? Like, but then you get out of it and you're like, holy fuck, like, wait, that was actually so bad. Like, I wish I could go into detail. I could tell story after story after story about that job. But I can't because I signed an NDA. But I really, like, I can't believe the turn the year took because, like, I now am making money off of social media. And, like, hopefully, like, I saw what I could do for myself this year from like social media, so I need to take that and help us do that with Your Poor Dad. And I feel like we could do that in a year. Like,
yeah, I think if we buckle down,
we hunker down,
we make a plan, we can start making money.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel like this is a good episode. Tell us your guys' peaks and pits of 2023 and like make them funny.
Did you do yours?
Yeah, it was all about Germany.
Oh yeah. You're right. You went first. Okay, well, this was great.
Send us off, girls.
Let's have a great 2024, guys.
And you guys could start off 2024 great by rate, reviewing, and liking and sharing this episode. Write a little review. 5 stars, 4 stars. Is it 5?
5.
What? I didn't know what the scale was.
Out of 5.
5 then. And follow us on social media. Your Poor Dad Pod. Write us email yourpoordad@gmail.com. Thank you.
Yep, can't wait.
Bailey always has the funniest sign-offs. Okay, guys, we've got to go.
And that's it.
Yeah, and thank you guys so much for such a great year. This was a really incredible year for this podcast. This was the year that we really started to grow and get new sisters and listeners. So I really appreciate you guys, and I hope that we can just continue building this community in 2024.
Yeah.
All right, well,
Bye.
bye.